Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where today I want to look at some of the latest Doctor Who news, including a brand new statement from Russell T Davies confirming that we will be getting a full explanation for BIGENERATION in the next episode of Doctor Who, The Reality War, as well as confirmation of a full trailer for War Between the Land and the Sea after the cinema release, not only at the cinema but also on BBC One as well, so you won't miss it if you're watching from home, as well as we're going to be taking a look at the consolidated ratings for the Interstellar Song Contest and a look at some of the new preview images for The Reality War. All that and more coming up, but subscribe if you're new, that would be greatly appreciated. We are trying to get to 30,000 subscribers and we're now at 27,700 subscribers. We've been getting about 100 per day, so we're making gains, Any support would be greatly appreciated in helping us get to our goal, but let's dive right in. So this was actually originally on the same thread that I posted with regards to Russell talking about the Bone Beast and stuff. Someone by the name of Verax89 asked, there will be an explanation for BIGENERATION, and then Russell T Davies said, actually, yes. So yeah, BIGENERATION is seemingly getting an explanation in the next episode of Doctor Who, The Reality War, which is very interesting. Personally, I just was fine with the kind of explanation that, you know, it's a myth come to life kind of thing, sort of like with a bunch of the others. But I personally do like my theory that I came up with. I can't remember which video I talked about it in, but I came up with a theory that the Rani was the one who kind of combined myths and legends alongside her knowledge of science and biochemistry in order to create BIGENERATION. So if they do that, that'd be pretty cool, to be fair. And it's the sort of thing I can imagine the Rani doing as kind of like a survival tactic. So yeah, very, very cool. Very much sort of interested to see what this entails. I am slightly worried about how stuffed this finale is going to be, what with them doing Omega, the Ranis, an explanation for BIGENERATION, potentially a regeneration of the 50th Doctor, if rumours are to be believed. All of that being resolved in an hour, plus all the stuff with the space babies and Susan and all of this sort of stuff. Maybe even Kid as well from the Interstellar Song Contest. There's a lot to wrap up, so I am nervous, but I am curious to see what this explanation for BIGENERATIon is. I'm very curious for that. Again, I like my theory that the Rani was the one who did it by experimenting on the Doctor. That's my kind of headcanon. We'll see if that turns out to be true or whether it's something else, but it's interesting that we are acknowledging it again, because it is interesting that it's happened twice. So it does feel like a deliberate, thing to keep it going, I thought, given the fact that it was mentioned in Lux as well, it felt like BIGENERATION was going to be somewhat relevant, so I'm glad that it is in this case. Also, interestingly, this probably means nothing, but I saw some people speculating that Tennant had the sideburns back from when he usually plays the character and his brown hair, so maybe some people are suggesting another Tennant return. So I don't think that'll actually happen, but I just wanted to put it in here in case people were curious as to my thoughts on it. I don't think it's actually happening. He's probably just doing another role because he's very busy and fully booked. Although I suppose if Gatwa isn't available for the next year, but they want some new Doctor Who, you could do some 14th Doctor adventures in the meantime to kind of plug the gap. Maybe that's why they're referencing BIGENERATION again here. Probably not, but it's an interesting thought nonetheless. Also on Instagram, Russell T Davies posted this picture with Gemma Redgrave and Alexander Devrient saying, back in action on Saturday in The Reality War, Gemma Redgrave as Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and Alexander Devrient as Colonel Christopher Ibrahim. Can they save the day with the help of the secrets on floor -10 of the unit tower? Also on Saturday, after Doctor Who, the first trailer tease for The War Between the Land and the Sea on BBC One and in cinemas. So yeah, we're getting a full trailer for The War Between the Land and the Sea, which is very cool, but also, interestingly, he makes mention of the secrets of floor -10. Now, I saw some people saying that in the giggle, Kate refers to the Toymaker as being put to the deepest vault in unit and being bound in salt, so potentially could they be using the Toymaker as a resource in the fight against Omega? I mean, if Rogue can come back, maybe the Toymaker can too, although I don't really know how you would contain him after that. There is some logic to fighting a god with a god. Potentially also maybe the Master is in one of the vaults. I was having a conversation on the podcast, the Confused Out of Us podcast, which is coming out very soon, that Missy was obviously put in a vault back in Series 10, and the person who picks up the tooth of the Master has red nail varnish, and if you look in this picture, Trevor Redgrave has red nail varnish. So what if she was the one who picked up the Master's tooth and has been keeping it in storage for a rainy day, and is basically like, wow, you know, if we're going to fight Time Lords, we need another Time Lord, and then Missy pops out. Because Missy is more sympathetic, so I think she would probably side with the Doctor against the Rani, especially, you know, in trying to revive, you know, Gallifrey with, like, an Omega as its ruler. I definitely don't think Missy would be happy with Omega being back. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Elsewhere, we have the ratings for Doctor Who, the Interstellar Song Contest. These are the consolidated figures from TV Zone. Doctor Who continued on BBC One last weekend with the Interstellar Song Contest, which scored overnight audience of 2.6 million. BARB data has now been revealed, which shows the episode has consolidated to 3.754 million after 7 days. Overall, it ranked 9th for the week across all channels, and the BBC's 4th most watched title of the week, only behind Eurovision, Race Across the World, and Antiques Roadshow, excluding the soaps. Doctor Who is the 2nd highest drama of the week, only behind ITV's launch of Code of Silence. Doctor Who also beat all episodes of Emmerdale and EastEnders, plus BBC One's new Sunday night drama, The Bombing of Pan Am, 103. I believe this is the first episode of Season 2 to crack the weekly top 10. Obviously, it was helped out massively by the fact that it was wedged between the FA Cup and Eurovision, as we all know. And I'm not going to try and claim otherwise, but it's still good to see Doctor Who get its highest figure since Season 2 begun, 3.7 million. Previously, the highest was Robot Revolution, which was about 3.57, I believe. Actually, let me double check. Yeah, 3.57 million for Episode 1, and then now the new record holder is Episode 6 with 3.75. So yeah, good to see a boost, obviously, as a result of Eurovision and the FA Cup. Obviously, a bit of that boost did sustain for Episode 7. Obviously, it did go down to be expected, but it did go up from Episodes 4 and 5 as well. And obviously, next week, we're having our final episode, which is also airing on broadcast at normal time. So I'll be interested to see if that has any effect. Although, as I said, it's going to also be in the cinema, so I imagine a lot of the fans who will be watching on iPlayer usually will probably be watching at the cinema, because that's the most dedicated part of the audience. Finally, we have some new pictures, and I want to shout out for this series, the absolute GOAT, the Black Archive Gallery. They get all the pictures like exactly as soon as they come out, and they collate them in a really easy to use website. So I just want to shout them out. Most of them we've already seen, but there are a couple of new ones. This one in particular intrigues me. It shows Kate and Colonel Ibrahim at the head of unit, but by some kind of almost like captain's pirate ship steering wheel here. And it makes me wonder if they're going to be piloting their own kind of bone beast, or their own kind of creature equivalent, or whether the tower itself is going to move and fire back at the bone beast or something, or whether this is what they use to aim the lasers or the galvanic beam or something. I don't know. As I've said before though, it does seem like UNIT has been restored to its modern form, so it looks like these two universes are blending together, which is very interesting. We've also got pictures of Colonel Ibrahim here, looking very dapper, as well as the Vlinks, who hopefully will actually do something this week. They must know it's a meme that he doesn't do anything, right? We've also got a picture of Shirley with her new friend as well, Winnie, who seems to still be in the kind of comrade reality, because we can still see the posters in the background. So I'm going to be interested to see, you know, how normal UNIT gets restored, but obviously Shirley is still very much stuck in that other universe. As I said, is it going to be a blend of the two? I think I've shown most of the others, but yeah, very interesting stuff. We've only got a few days left to the finale, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it wraps up, even if I am a bit concerned about it wrapping up everything in a satisfying way in just over an hour. But we'll see, you know, they could manage it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.